In this episode, you're going to hear me speak about, the benefits of being single. True to form of the episode, the Single Father podcast, I figure I should tell you a little bit about why I feel like being single is not so bad. So without further ado, thank you for allowing me to vent with you. Welcome to the Single Father podcast. I am your host, Kendall Donaker. This podcast is dedicated for anyone out there who's dealing with mental health and fatherhood. You'll hear about my struggles, my defeats, my victories, my highs, my lows, my triumphs, my tribulations, and everything in between. I like to call this a collection of journal entries into my struggle and adapting to single fatherhood. Without further ado, let's take a look inside my journal, the Single Father podcast. I feel like, look, one of my friends, and I do not know if he actually listens to the podcast or if he's just like, oh, yeah, I support you. But one of my friends, and I won't name his name, but he recently moved in with his girlfriend. And he's much like me in a sense where he enjoys his alone time. So he was kind of like my visual. You know how you can't eat a cake, so you watch someone else eat a cake, and that kind of satisfies you. I think it's a bad analogy, but what I'm getting at is I was kind of waiting for him to tell me how his experience is going so far, because he's much like me in the sense that we enjoy our alone time. He's one of my only friends where we'll schedule a time to hang out, and because we are who we are, either one of us can just text each other and be like, hey man, I know we were going to hang out today, but I don't feel like it. And we wouldn't take it offensively. Do you ever have a friend like that where you can text them and say, hey, I just really don't want to hang out just because I just don't want to leave my house. There's no real excuse for it other than I just don't want to do anything. And I love you, but yeah. And they'll just be like, yeah, no problem. I honestly, I was going to cancel on you. So that's me and his relationship is, because we're so much of the same person, pretty much. Like, I enjoy being alone. I enjoy my alone time. I don't really like going out a whole lot. And I just like being a homebody, chilling. And if I'm chilling with friends, I don't even really like checking my phone. I'm just in the moment type of guy, but I don't really like doing much. Especially lately. I've been hanging out with my friends a lot more lately, but I don't really like to do much other than kind of just work on, my business, my company, my job, and work on being a father and, some mental health practices. But yeah, which is kind of weird because I live in Vegas, but it's just not my scene. I don't really do much. Anyways, I think that being single in Vegas is a beautiful thing, but not really what you would think. You kind of have two demographics. You have the demographic that is like me. I'm a homebody. I don't like doing shit. I just want to stay at home and just watch Netflix and kind of just work on this and that, my hobbies and shit like that, which is great, right? But it's weird because when I have someone like that in my life, I'll get kind of annoyed because they don't have shit to do. So, like, I actually have shit to do, but when you find someone that likes to be a homebody, they tend to not really have that much shit to do. So, part of my issue of dating homebodies is they always want to hang out with me. They literally just always want to hang out with me, and I'm just at times just not interested. And it goes back to like how I said my relationship was with my friend. It's totally not personal. It's not the person at all. It's not even the situation or the scenario or the place or whatever you can think of. It's not anything other than just my body and kind of just my mood says, I'm good. And it's weird because, you probably have a fun time hanging out, but sometimes I just don't feel like it. And that's the thing with dating homebodies is they always just want to hang out with you. And I'm just, I don't know. Sometimes not even sometimes, I'd say more than not, over 50%. I'm just like, I don't know. Because I've explained this before, but good Lord, you really don't know what my days consist of. So I have 1 week on with my daughter and 1 week off. The week on that I have with my daughter, as of right now, because we're switching daycares for her, because her other daycare was just trash. By the way, if you're a parent out there or an expecting parent or, whatever the case may be, anything to relating to your kid or anything like that, having a good daycare is like having a good doctor. You can't beat it. And it's uncomfortable when you have a bad one. Like, I had I wouldn't say a bad daycare, but I didn't like them. So I had to switch it up. And anyways, I digress. So as of right now, my daughter has been home with me while I've been working. I work from home I'm on my desk, from pretty much 9 to 5. And there's tons of shit in my house for my daughter to do, as well as an iPad that I bought for myself, but has somehow been transferred over to my daughter, basically. There's tons of shit for her to do. And by the way, my daughter's really smart, and I think it's because they don't allow her to watch anything stupid. I'm going to digress for a minute because this is a little side note that I want to share with you guys. I don't let my daughter watch anything stupid. For instance, like, my daughter will watch stuff like Daniel Tiger, Arthur, really educational stuff. I don't let her watch like SpongeBob. Even though I love SpongeBob, I don't let her watch anything stupid. So when I say she has an iPad to play with, I'm not just giving her a tablet. Everything on there is, for her benefit. Anyways, yeah, there's tons of shit for her to do in my house, but yet, naturally, she's obsessed with me. And I think it has, obviously, I'm her parent, but I think it has a lot to do with kind of how COVID has been. Kids haven't too much been, I mean, it's dying down now, obviously, but kids haven't been at playgrounds a lot. They haven't been having kind of the normal social interactions that we've expected kids to have at this age, and obviously in the growing up stage. So, my daughter is very much she's kind of, I guess the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. She's like me. She doesn't really like other people and just wants to be chill at home. But, but she also just wants to be around me 24/7. She's in that very much clinging stage. So anyways, she'll cling to me, and don't get me wrong, she'll do her own thing. But when she gets bored, it's da-da, 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 da-da. Now listen, I love that more than you couldn't even imagine how much my heart melts when she calls me dada. But good Lord, if I'm in a fucking meeting and I'm trying to close a deal or some shit like that, it is so bothersome seeing a crying toddler in the corner of your eye crying for no reason other than I didn't cut her peanut butter and jelly the way she liked it. Oh my God, is it annoying? Like, good Lord. So yeah, it's been a little struggle for me. And how I started on this topic is, what I'm saying is, my days are pretty much busy. 9 to 5 at my desk. And then right when I get off, I interact with my daughter as much as possible. I'm making her lunch, or dinner. I'm taking her to the park, to the playground. I'm coloring with her. I'm playing with her. Then we chill for a bit. Maybe she takes a bath, and then I have a breather. And then we're reading books. We're playing games again. We're eating. We're interacting. Then we're going to bed. And by the time she is going to sleep, I'm so beat from everything that I've had to do throughout the day that it's pretty much my bedtime as well. And when I don't have her, yes, it's a little different. I have that freedom, but my days are somewhat, a little bit, it's kind of, I do the opposite. Instead of hustling my ass off, I'll do just a little less than I would with my daughter, but a little less. So my days when I don't have her, I'll get off work, I'll make myself dinner, I'll go to the gym, I'll tidy up my house, maybe do some laundry, work on my business for a little bit, prospecting, sale, doing tweaks to my website, my podcast, so I also, like I said, I'm a homebody, but when I'm home, I also have shit to do. And when it comes to the weekends, it's like, man, I kind of just want to sleep. So my days, yeah, they get kind of busy. So when someone says, hey, can I come over? Can I come over? I get kind of annoyed. In fact, I had this girl once who just really couldn't get the hint. My house is a mess and I didn't want anyone to come over. She was asking me to come over. I said, nah, today's not a really good time. My house is really messy. She said, well, I'll help you clean. I said, no, I got it. I would really feel embarrassed if you came over. There's toys everywhere. There's Barbie shit everywhere. Like, I don't, I'm good. And she's like, well, maybe I can play with Layla and, I'll make her cookies. And I said, no, that's quite all right. Maybe I don't even have cookies in my house. She's like, no, I'll buy some. And I'm like, God damn it, woman. Like I get it. You're being so sweet and I appreciate it. But, it's like, I don't know, my personality is sometimes I'll get like bothered really easily. Like if I say I'm good, that means I'm good. And I really like women who have like their own shit to do, Like we don't have to see each other 24/7. We can meet up and, do our thing. And I mean, by no means am I saying that I want a booty call at all. That's absolutely the opposite of what I want. What I am saying is I want someone to go on dates with me, when we both feel like going on a date. And if I don't feel like hanging out, it's not like a personal attack on you. It's maybe I've had a hard day and I just don't feel like it. I think some people think like that's so rude of you to say that you don't want to hang out with me when you had a hard day. Like I should be the cure to your hard day. And like maybe you are, but like I don't feel like hanging out right now. I don't think that's such a horrible thing to kind of say to someone, So yeah, I mean, dating a homebody is a little difficult because they just tend to not have shit to do. And when you are kind of centered around their activities, it makes your activities suffer, or it makes the amount of activities that you have to do be piled on top of you and you feel overwhelmed and you feel like, man, I don't even want to hang out with you anymore. I don't even like, I feel like I'm hanging out with you too much, or you know what I mean? You guys kind of get what I'm saying. It gets a little much. Anyways, the other side of that is when you're dating a homebody in Vegas. I mean, that's rough. But the other side is dating someone who is completely all in the Vegas scene. And by the way, I'm saying Vegas is a form of reference to where I'm at, but this is really anywhere. But someone who really wants to go to bars all the time, who wants to party all the time, and who wants to go to clubs and shit like that. And look, I'm 27. I love to have fun. Don't get me wrong. I love going to a bar. I love having fun. I'll occasionally love going to a club. I love dancing. I love the pool parties. I mean, all of it's so exciting to me and I love doing it. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has the tools to allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and more. It's everything you need in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. Look, I'm a guy. I have to pay for everything when I go out. Like for all the first of all, if there's any women listening, I just want to kind of give you an example. When I go out, so let's say I'm being responsible. So when I go out, I'm paying for my Uber. And then when I go to like a club or a bar, I'm paying the cover fee. And then I'm paying for the drinks inside. And then I get a little excited. We get a little drunk. Maybe you're paying for some of your friends' drinks. Maybe you're paying for a couple of girls' drinks. And then if you like, that's a bar, like, right? But then you go to a club, that's an even larger cover fee. Then maybe you're paying for a table. And then I literally went to a bar here in Vegas and I said, hey, how much is a Jack and Coke? The guy said, 25? And I said, did you just fucking just create a number in your head? Show me the receipt. I was pissed. So, it's what I'm getting at is it's really expensive going out, and it really just adds up. And I think of how I've been financially responsible this year, which I'll talk about in a later episode, but I've been really financially responsible, and I think of all the things I could cut back on that are completely unnecessary. And I tend to always think, wow, if I didn't spend $250 or $300 on that super, super expensive restaurant or bar, then, maybe I would have been able to afford an Oculus or something like that, So it just always ends up kind of figuring out to be like an unnecessary expense. So again, those things are things that I like doing on a planned kind of day where I'm going out maybe on a date but not just fucking partying nuts. Like this is kind of like not my scene. I just don't really like doing it. And so when you have a person like that, you end up kind of feeling so self-conscious because you feel like you're super boring. I'm like, am I fucking boring right now? Am I a boring person? Like, is she entertained by me? Like, I'm 27. I should be out there fucking doing a whole bunch of shit. And you kind of just start second guessing yourself, and it's just not a good feeling to me. And I don't know. So I tend to not date people like that. But really, in the sense, you're either a homebody or you like going out. I guess what I'm looking for is somewhere in between, but I really just haven't found it yet. I haven't found that person yet that's like that for me. And I think that's kind of why, dating is just, I don't know. It's just not that appealing to me. And sometimes I wonder about my even interest in getting married or in maybe having a part. Like, I'm so 50-50 down the middle on it. Like, I was just talking to someone about this today. The thought of having a wife is so appealing to me, but the thought of having someone living in my house, in my bed, having someone around me 24/7, I don't know, does not sound that appealing. It really doesn't. I don't know. I don't know if any of you are like that, or it's like and if you think about it, it's kind of weird too, because you're dating someone, right? You're dating someone in different households for a long time, and then suddenly you're living together and you're always around each other. It just feels, I don't know, there's something weird about it. Like, I like my own domain, my own home. If I'm uncomfortable, we don't have to, I sleep in the same bed that night if we don't want to. There's something kind of blissful about having my own peace and my own space. And I don't know how I'd eventually get over that, because again, the concept of having a wife and a long-term girlfriend is so appealing, but the concept of having someone eventually live with me, it's weird. And I also have to think about kind of what are my expectations in a relationship. Like, do I think marriage is even necessary? Does a paper define my eternal love for someone, or does, us living in the same household from now until we die define my love? Or what does that consist of? So those are a lot of things that go through my head, but those are all of those scenarios and questions that I've just brought up are all things I don't really have time for. I don't have time to really think about all that, and I don't have time to really, like, at the end of my day, I'll tell you, the last thing I want to do is sit on my phone and kind of swipe through Tinder or Hinge. Like, it's so unappealing to me. Like, spending a 30 minutes or an hour of my time just like swiping is just, it's lame to me. So I don't really do it. And so I don't know how I'm going to meet someone. I'm sure it'll just happen naturally. But yeah, I'm so much enjoying being single. Being single offers me the freedom to focus on my hobbies and my dreams and my daughter and I think it offers me at least some time to think about how I plan to navigate having a girlfriend and a kid. The last person that I was with, said something there on along the lines of like when Layla's not around, I feel like the only girl in the world, and when she is around, I kind of get jealous about how much time we spend between the both of us. And I said, look, I get it, but it's not really going to change, right? So I also have to think about how to navigate that, but I don't really want to. I'm happy just being alone and doing my thing. I'm happy with my routine. I'm happy with, going on dates and going out to coffee and getting to meet new people and seeing if I vibe or not. But I'm also happy just being at home, watching some Netflix, sitting at my computer, going to the gym, going for a walk, walking my dog, spending time with my daughter, learning how to cook, learning how to do this, hang out with some good friends. Those are all some of the things that I just love doing, and it's like a part of my routine. And I don't want to have to worry about, oh my God, I have to buy this for this person, or I have to do this for that person, or I have to buy it, I have to go, on a date, or I have to do this, I have to, oh my God, is this person mad at me? Is this person, or am I jealous? Am I not? Those are all some things I don't know. I think it's a stress that I'm good off of right now, I don't really want to have to worry about those things, and I feel very content and comfortable with where I'm at. And of course, if you're a critic, you'll be like, "Yeah, that's only something single people say." But hey, yeah, it is. I'm a single father, and I'm enjoying that as of right now. And when I'm ready to date, I'll be ready. But look, I've been having so much bliss being alone, and you know what it really comes down to? I'm in a position where I can just find myself creatively, spiritually, mentally. I'm just finding myself, finding out what I love, what I like, what I don't like, what my interests are, what my passions are, what my hobbies are, and I think that is good enough for me. So, yeah, I'm single, but it's been very blissful so far. I think there is peace with being alone with yourself to find out a little bit more about yourself. And once I've discovered all the things that I think I need to know about myself in order to be in a healthy relationship, then I will explore, other avenues. And maybe I'll find my partner, maybe I'll find my wife, or maybe I'll be single forever. But I do know that no matter what the outcome is, I know that I'm happy. And that seems good enough for me. Plus, the ex-girl I was talking to was a little cray-cray. No, I'm saying, can't have that in my life. I'm kidding, kind of. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for listening. I'm really supportive of the people who support the podcast. Support me. If you are a supporter of the show, please check out my website, VentPack.org. There are ways to donate there to the podcast to make sure that we are giving you, better stories, better opportunity to get some cool guests on the show. And I don't know, there's a lot of stuff that I feel like I'm really excited about this year. And having the opportunity to share that with you guys is going to be one of the highlights of my life, because I feel like I'm really chasing my dreams and chasing my passions. And I don't know, it's just an exciting time for me. So yeah, if you want to support the show, please go do so, ventpack.org. There's ways to donate there. You can also keep up to date with some of the other projects I mentioned earlier. And for those of you who are out there and are kind of upset that you are single and you don't know really where you want to go from this point on, there's no problem taking time to yourself to reflect on what it means to be in love, what it means to be in a relationship, and what it means for someone to date you, right? What do you like about yourself? What do you like about someone else? And, What do you want in a relationship? What do you want someone to bring to the table for you? Ask yourself a whole lot of questions and kind of just put it all together and decide, am I in the right place for a relationship, or do I need just some more time to kind of just do me, be me, and understand me? There's nothing wrong with that. So thank you for everyone who's listening. Thank you for letting me vent with you today, and thank you for joining the pack.